skilling opportunities, over 38,000 women developers have been trained globally in AI, cloud, and security. Hackathons. These dynamic problem solving events have seen 4,500 participants work on 63 impactful projects, applying their skills to real world challenges. Mentorship sessions with 120 mentors guiding over 1,000 mentees. These circles are fostering growth, confidence, and leadership among women developers. Community meetups. 82 partners have come together to host 12 events in India alone, with plans to scale up to 50 plus meetups and 10,000 attendees in FY25. In India, this program is already transforming lives. During his recent AI tour, Satya Nadella announced the global goal of upskilling 75,000 women developers in just 1 year. With over 35,000 developers already skilled, we are well on our way to achieving this milestone. But the heart of this initiative lies in impact it creates. As we move forward today, let's celebrate what we've achieved so far: skilling, hackathons, mentorships, meetups, and commit to drive this mission further. We're thrilled to have you all for an exciting dive into the world of artificial intelligence powered by Microsoft Azure. All right, so we'll explore Azure AI's powerful capabilities and see how they're transforming innovation and automation. We are honored to have two fantastic speakers with us, Mahima Taneja, a data engineer at Microsoft, and Herleen Kaur, a senior consultant in information security and DevOps at Microsoft. So let's get started. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi Kamya, am I audible? Harleen?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Manisha Talreja, not Mahima Taneja, first of all. Yeah. So I'll start. Hi everyone. I'm Manisha, a data engineer at Microsoft with over 6 years of IT experience. I joined Microsoft 6 months ago and I'm thrilled to be here today to talk about Azure and AI. I'm also joined by my co-host Herleen, who has been with Microsoft for over 5 years. She works closely with customers on DevOps transformation, engineering excellence, and information security. Herleen, over to you. I'll share my screen meanwhile.
Harleen, you're not audible. Can't hear you. Manisha, is it audible to you?
Yeah, yeah. No, Herleen's voice is not audible to me. Your voice is audible.
Harleen, you're still not audible. Would you like to try and
Now?
disconnect
Yeah.
your headset? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Great. So thanks. Sorry for the glitch, but let's get started. So today we will be diving into a fascinating world of AI. But before we get started, I would like to ask you a few questions, right? Have any one of you heard the term artificial intelligence? What it means to you when you hear about it? How about machine learning? Does anyone know what it involves? What comes to your mind when you hear about the term data science? Mm, And there must be several instances wherein you might have used chatbots, right? So mm, maybe anyone from the audience, they want to share their experience or talk about their understanding. Anyone? No one has heard these terms, or do we have a quiet group today? Okay.
I think
I
Manisha
think
has dropped and the
yeah,
presentation is not there.
yeah. Her laptop had some issues, so she's
Okay,
joining back. Okay. Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But in the meanwhile, we can have anyone from the audience talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, what it means to you, or what any instances wherein you have heard it, used it. So please feel free to share.
So, world of Bollywood says he or she is a big fan of Elon Musk.
Okay. Mm, waiting for Manisha to come back, and meanwhile, I can maybe share my screen for a moment if that helps.
Not working fine, so I have joined it
Okay,
from
I
my
see
phone.
Manisha, you're back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Okay, one second. Hmm. Okay. So let me know once you see my screen.
Yes, we can see a screen.
Yeah,
Mm, okay, and you see mm, presentation mode, right? Sorry, there is a background noise.
yeah, it's in the presentation mode.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So let's get started then. I did not hear anybody from the audience talk about these terms, but eh, these terms they are pretty popular these days. Everybody is talking about it, right? And one of the reasons why we have these terms represented in the cloud is because we have a cloud platform which can offer all these capabilities in only one cloud can offer this. Manisha, I think there is a background noise. I'm getting quite distracted by it.
Is it from my side? I'll mute.
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, now it is okay. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Thank you so much. So, yes, what I was saying is we have the Azure cloud that offers you all these capabilities, and that is what we will look into now. Okay. So, let's start this fascinating journey by talking about cloud computing.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is interactive enough, but I would like to ask some of the questions first before jumping on to cloud computing. Have you guys ever heard about what is cloud, or have you guys ever heard about AWS? I'm pretty much sure AWS, Azure, and GCP are quite popular cloud providers, right? So Amazon provides AWS, Google provides GCP, and Microsoft provides Azure. So while we talk about cloud computing, we first need to understand basically what exactly is cloud. So I'll start with a simple analogy. You guys might have heard about Nancy Tyagi, right? Nancy Tyagi, what she did is she designed her outfit from scratch. Be it, buying the material, fabric, getting the accessories done, makeup, everything, stitching of her outfit, everything she designed on her own. But whereas, if we talk about other content creators, what did they do is they just they just rented the outfit from big what do you say, big fashion designers like Sabyasachi or Manish Malhotra, right? So when we talk about cloud computing in that sense, you would be considered as Nancy Tyagi if and only if you are managing your servers on your own, you are looking after the security on your own, you are buying huge computers, you are maintaining them, you are doing everything on your own. But if you decide to rent these resources like huge computers, virtual machines, softwares, etc., then you would be considered as someone who is renting from the cloud providers. So this was a basic example. The second one would be, suppose if I am planning to shift to another city. So recently I shifted to Noida. So what I experienced is I had two options. One is to relocate to a PG, that is paying guest, or I can rent a flat. So if I am considering that if I want to live in a PG, all the services are already there, I just need to pay the rent. And if I am moving to a flat, I will have to look after everything, buying the furniture, decorating my flat, installing electricity meter, installing AC, looking for the water supply, everything, looking for the maid, everything, cleanliness, starting from scratch, I have to look after everything. But what if I decide to stay in a PG? I just need to pay the rent and everything is taken care of. I am not going to worry about paying the to look after the maid, the water supply, electricity generator, everything is taken care of by the PG owner. So these are all the terms you can relate or correlate with the cloud computing. In cloud computing, you just need to pay the rent of the resources that you are going to use. So all the resources will be provided to you by the cloud provider, that is Azure or AWS or GCP, whatever you can talk, whatever you can consider. And if you want to build your own network, first of all you would have you would have to get a proper storage space where you can store your servers, where you can store your machines, huge computers. But I don't think so that will be feasible for each and every one. I mean, what if after some time you do not need those resources, but you have already invested your money on it after buying those resources? But if you are going to rent it, you can just discontinue your subscription from the cloud providers. That's it, you do not need to worry about anything else. So these are some of the features of cloud computing. For example, access anywhere. You can suppose if it's Gmail, you can open your Gmail account from any laptop, from any mobile phone. You just need to have a proper internet connection, that's it. Flexibility and scalability. The second one is, suppose if what if you have many guests coming over to your house, but you wonder if you can, if there are more guests coming, you can just add 2 to 3 rooms in your house, or if the guests are leaving, you can just decrease the number of rooms. So this is not possible if you have your own house. But if you are renting something, or if you want to move to a bigger house, if you want to move to a smaller house according to your needs, then you can do it easily. If your family is getting bigger, you will think about of buying a 3 bhk 4 bhk or renting a 3 bhk 4 bhk. But buying your own house is quite difficult, considering loan rates, and if your job needs you to be in a particular city rather than your hometown. So until and unless no, we are Ambani's children, we cannot buy a house in each and every city, right? So it's better to rent it out. Yeah. The third one is security. The security plays a very important role. You would need to have set up your own firewalls if you are considering to buy everything on your own, to manage everything on your own. Then security will be your data will be affected if your infrastructure is not secure enough. But Azure, Microsoft, it stands on no first priority of Azure is your data should be secured. Everything on Azure should be in a secured manner, should be placed in a secure manner. So security plays a very important role in Microsoft. So it is you will be very tension free if you know that your data is not going to get breached. Your data, even if it is sitting in your storage account in Azure, it is already in the encrypted form. You do not have to worry about the encryption as well. So these are some of the terminologies or features which comes with cloud. So obviously you would be smart enough to decide if you have to buy everything on your own, or if you have to literally um, what do you say, if you just need to rent it out and you just pay for the resources that you use, and then if you want to cancel the subscription at any time, you can cancel it without answering to anyone or without hassling about any choice. Yeah. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So these are the three models of cloud services, that is infrastructure as a service, platform, and software. So basic, at the basic terminology comes infrastructure as a service. So in infrastructure, you will be like providing the basic IT, basic blocks of IT service. For example, you will be given with the virtual machines, or you will be given as an empty storage space, and then you have to look after everything. If you want to install Windows operating system or Linux operating system, you have to look on your own. You will just get the infrastructure by the cloud provider. That's it. And for example, if you want to set up an office, you will be just provided with an empty room or empty flat, whatever, or empty cabin. That's it. That can be considered as an example of infrastructure as a service. The next comes is platform. It already includes infrastructure. Platform, as in the operating system will also be involved, some tools and technologies will also be installed. The platform which you need to build, I mean the applications which you need to build, it becomes easier for developers, data scientists, data engineers to just to use those platforms to build some softwares, to build some applications, websites, anything you want. So in simple terms, we can say you have an empty flat. You have an empty flat in an infrastructure as a service, but in platform as a service, you get the furnished flat, or you get the furnished office. You will get tables, chairs, meeting rooms, everything furnished in platform as a service. Next comes software as a service. In software, softwares are just like how you use Microsoft applications, Microsoft 365 applications, Word, Excel sheet, PowerPoint, everything is ready to use. You are not worried about the underlying infrastructure, on what infrastructure it is built, what operating system it is built, nothing. You are just ready to use. So for end users, software as a service works very well. So for example, if we consider our previous example of office, you also get the staff with it. So you just need to monitor if everything is working well or not in software as a service. You do not need to worry about stuff. So you get a proper furnished office with tables, chairs, interior decorations, everything. Plus you also get the staff, who the working staff who knows their duty, what I have to do, what not I have to do. You just need to monitor if everything is going fine or not. So in infrastructure as a service, you manage the most. In platform as a service, you manage the less, and in software you manage the least. So um here, yeah, next slide. So now the question comes is, why are we going to use these cloud services? Why are these cloud services made, first of all? So the basic thing is, now we are entering into the world of evolution. where it's not just automation, it's intelligent automation. AI, you hear AI in everything. AI is just not a luxury anymore, it's a necessity. Be it a small startup, be it a large corporate, everyone, every single user is using AI, even on their phones. We don't realize, but AI is everywhere. From predicting I mean, from recommending you the Netflix, what movie you should watch based on your preferences, plus predicting on what a consumer is likely to buy in coming months. Everything is taken care by AI. Even if you're not, building some models or something, but still you are using AI. You are already a part of AI. So, when we talk about data is getting generated at a very large volume, at a very large um, the data sets, they are literally impossible for a simple normal user machine to handle that petabytes or zettabytes or terabytes of data. So my laptop will not be able to handle, my simple software will not be able to handle a huge amount of data. For that we need something to store that data, to process that data, because without AI, without machine learning, we won't be able to derive the what do you say, informative decisions. So on, and also the companies who are leveraging AI at a scale, they are able to, there have been studies, or there have been reports which say that, those companies grow faster, they have improved customer business, they have built the trust all over the place. So these are all the things why today company is focusing, every company is focusing more on AI and ML. So even if you go to interviews, or even if you give any interviews, they will first check, it's okay, you should be technically very well. But nowadays it's not only how can you write the code or how correct you can write the code, because AI has already replaced those things. You can just ask the AI to write a code, to write an algorithm, it will give you, but you should be able to know, you should be able to know how to use AI. So for that purpose, I mean, we will take a pause and we will see what exactly is AI, what exactly is ML. Are these interrelated, or are these, separated terms? And I Harleen will tell you more about these things.
Right. So we keep listening AI, ML, deep learning, generative AI, right? So like Manisha mentioned, we want to understand how these things are interlinked, or are these completely separate things, right? So what I'll do is start with a definition of what these different terms are, and help you with an example of the different things. Okay, so let's start with AI. AI is an overarching and umbrella term, which means that what you're it refers to like simulation of human intelligence in machines, which can be programmed to think like humans. So, for example, every day on your phones, you use Gemini, you use Siri, or you use Alexa on devices. So, and how do they interpret what you say? It is because they are leveraging AI to understand and respond to your queries. And it, like, AI has been into, not in our phones, in our machines. We have our home devices, our like bulbs, the electricity fittings being controlled by AI. That's the kind of adaptability that we have got for the AI now. Now, when it comes to machine learning is a subset of AI, wherein it, it focuses on like training the algorithms to learn from specific data sets that you provide. So your models, they can learn from the data that you provide, and based on those learnings, they can make predictions and also the decisions. And so all you need to do is give them certain data sets from where they can do the learning, the training, and then make predictions and the decisions. Like when you open your Gmail, you see certain emails have gone into your junk folder or your spam folder, or you see a bar in Outlook saying that, okay, you don't often get email from these IDs. So, what is that? It is using machine learning, your data and data of thousands of users is analyzed to understand that, okay, this is not a normal scenario. So this mail may be a spam, a junk, and hence we are moving it into the junk folder. On your phones, yeah, when you get a call from an unknown number, there is a notification coming that this number may be a spam caller. Okay, so that way it is providing you capability to make a decision that, "Oh, okay, should I be picking this call or not?" But your phone has made that decision for you that this is something which may be a spam, so that information is handy for you. Similarly, when we go to deep learning involves the use of AI to basically stimulate human thought processes in computerized model. So the difference between machine learning and deep learning is deep learning involves the use of neural networks. So it focuses on understanding and mimicking human cognition, right? So, for example, if you have to interpret complex data, it can be in form of a medical research paper, which doctors may use to diagnose certain diseases. That is where deep learning is used. And then comes the generative AI. So generative AI is a subset of AI which can help you generate new content. It can be in the form of an image, any music, any text, based on the data that it is trained for. So with all these different co-pilots coming in, we can use different AI models. Like Delhi is one of the AI model provided by OpenAI, which can create images from the textual description you provide. So maybe you can say that I want to generate a happy birthday message for my family member, and I want to have a portrait of a family picture in which two members should be female. I should have one male member, and I should have two kids, and also they should be standing around a cake. So with that description, it would be able to generate an image for you, right? And it this is a simple example. You can use it for very complex things as well. Right? You're like writing a blog, and you want to generate an image based on the topic of the blog that you're writing. You can use that image in your LinkedIn posts, in your PowerPoints. You can generate your PowerPoints with the use of Gen AI. So those are the places wherein we see day in, day out use of these AI, ML, deep learning, and Gen AI capabilities. So, moving on to like what has why we have suddenly started hearing all these terms. What has happened? What has changed suddenly? So, when you see mm, the adoption of ChatGPT, the generative AI technology, has been really disruptive. What it means is that the time to reach 100 million users for mobile phone, it took almost 16 years. But when you look at the adoption of ChatGPT, it took just 3 months to reach that number. And And that is the reason why you see everybody around you talking about using these different co-pilots, using ChatGPT for everything. And this also leads to another problem wherein we have to scale our technology to meet the needs of the AI. And that is where our next topic will be focused on.
Thank you, Harleen. So now we know that AI is very integral for every businesses. I mean, they can no longer afford to ignore it at all. But the question is, how do we implement that AI at scale? So going back to the earlier slides where we explained, people have, I mean, big companies have made it ready for us. You just need to focus on your innovation. The tools, platforms, everything is ready for you. So obviously it is not easy to develop an AI algorithm on your own personal laptop, because it needs a very huge computational power. So apart from, even the storage is not easy. You cannot store, the computation is a different thing. The computation will come only after you have that kind of data. So once you have petabytes, terabytes of data, you can, which you definitely cannot have on your system, because even your Google photos, even if your gallery is filled up, even if you have GBs of data in your phone, you still feel कि oh god, ये तो बहुत कम है photos के लिए भी. And especially if you are a girl, you can definitely connect with me कि और भी space होती तो ज़्यादा better होता. But अगर space ज़्यादा चाहिए होती है, if I want 256 GB वाला phone या उससे भी ज़्यादा वाला phone, तो obviously I have to pay more, right? But what if suddenly I am just fed up of life, or I have got busy in my life and I don't want itna space. What can you do? You can do nothing, because you have already purchased 256 GB of phone. तो वो space तो अभी तुम्हारे use ही नहीं आ रही. So obviously, if in that context, if you use Google Photos, if you pay for the space, if you pay monthly subscription of Google Photos, it will be easier for you next time. If you're not clicking many pictures, if you're not going out, if you have been busy, you have not got any time, so you can just cancel your subscriptions. That's it. It would be more easier for you rather than buying a very expensive phone for yourself of 256 GB. So these are some of the infrastructure challenges. And then once you have all the data on your system, then it comes to the complexity of handling that. How do you process it? Because just keeping the data is not sufficient. You also need to process the data to derive uh, intelligence from it. To derive intelligence, I mean, so that it can help, the decisions can help business to take actions. क्या करना है, कौन से रीजन में सेल्स कम है, तो उसमें व्हाट डू यू नीड टू इम्प्रूव टू इंक्रीज द सेल्स, और what more products do you need to introduce in the market, or who are all the competitors का data क्या है. You, all these things you are just not going to get it easily. You need to process that data. So to process that data, you need to build some algorithms, you need to use machine learning, and these are all the key requirements for AI to build a scalable environment. So, when we talk about storing the data, when we talk about processing the data, when we talk about showing the data, everything requires a platform. So everything, why are we considering Azure as the ideal partner for AI? Because Azure, it's literally a more than a cloud platform. It is a full-fledged AI ecosystem. It provides the infrastructure, tools, and services that you need. You want to build custom AI solutions, or you want to use pre-built solutions, you can do everything on Azure. So Azure helps you to overcome the challenges that a normal PC cannot do it on its own. It also, you do not need to worry about hardware, infrastructure, operating system, nothing at all. You just need to worry about the innovation, or about the ideas that you are going to put on the table. So the innovation, as in what new things you can give it to the business, what are your own thoughts,
if you want to use a pre-built solution and then you want to add some new features, or you want to just what do you say, build it from scratch, you have a total different idea. Only thing you need to worry about is your idea. That's it. You need to focus on innovation. What new things? So for example, when we talk about businesses, right? Ajkal every business has a competition, each and every business. So even if you want to be a content creator, so you will see, even if you have one particular idea, you will think it's a new idea, but as soon as you enter into social media, either on YouTube, or on Twitter, or on Instagram, you will see that people are already making content on that. So what you need to focus on, some different ideas, bring some different ideas to the table. Focus on innovation. What is a different thing that you are going to bring here? So Azure takes care of all the other things. How are you going to build it? How are you going to present it to the users? Everything is taken care by Azure. You just need to focus on ideas. Plus, it is cost effectiveness. You do not need to invest on anything. You just need to pay the monthly subscription on whatever resources you are using. So, for example, I am building a code. I am using a computational server to build a code. And for example, tomorrow I am on leave and I'm not going to use that computational server. I can just stop it from being, no, I can just switch it off. That's it. So for that period, it is not going to charge me anything. So that cost effective Azure is. Yeah. Can we go to the next slide? So how Azure is integrated with AI? So Azure has already, you just need to enter azure.portal.com. On Azure, you will see how all are the services there inside the portal. So for example, you have these cognitive services. You just search for Azure cognitive services, and then you can also use some pre-built APIs, or you can just what do you say, you can start from scratch if you want to go for vision detection, language, text to speech, speech to text, or any decision making, anomaly detection, content moderation. All these APIs are already there. So you just need to bring your own data for image recognition. If you want ki, there are some new set of examples, you need to train those models. So the models are already made, you just need to train them. So even if you are from a non-tech background, or if you are not a hard coder, you do not need to know DSA in and out. For example, machine learning, we say, oh God, itni coding to aati nahi, I am not from a coding background, or it's not my cup of tea. No, no, it is your cup of tea. You just need to make sure that you have some basic understanding of what the model is doing. You just need to research about it. You do not need to hard code everything, because Azure provides you everything. So for example, in Azure machine learning model, so this is a automated ML. It's a feature in Azure ML that even if you are non-data scientist, non-data engineer, you can easily train the model and deploy it with zero efforts. That's it. You just need to bring your data to train the model. And the second is ML ops feature, like DevOps, so that you need to make sure your jobs are running properly, and your model is deployed properly, it is getting maintained effectively. So these are all the things which even non-coders from non-tech background can also do. So the third part here comes as, what are some of the models or the features or the services available on Azure portal for data processing and insights. Obviously, you cannot just put the raw data inside a machine learning model. It is going to make of no use. First of all, you need to take the raw data, you need to clean it, you need to process it, or you need to join some tables, and then you need to have one aggregated gold table, and then that table will be provided to the machine learning model. So the basics, I mean, as a data engineer, I work on all these platforms. So for example, where are you going to store your big data? A data which has, a structured data, unstructured data, semi structured data, every kind of data you can store. And no matter what the amount of data is, you can store it in ADLS generation 2, ADLS Azure Data Lake storage. So you can, for storage purpose it is used, and for Azure Data Factory. Okay, how are you going to bring that data to ADLS Gen 2? Suppose if I have some APIs, I have a big business where I have all the customers' data stored in my relational database. So how are you going to bring that itna huge data from relational database to the ADLS Gen 2 on your cloud platform? That can be done by Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factory helps you in ETL. It's like an ETL tool: extract, transform, and load. How it helps in transforming, as in you can do the basic checks. For example, ki date and date, whatever the column is. For example, I want that particular column into be a date time format, or if I do not want the time, I just want the date. So you can do those kind of transformations. Or what do you say, yeah, if you want to remove all the null checks, or if you want to remove all the nulls and transform, or you just want to take all the error records and put it into another table and valid records into another table, you can do these basic checks or basic transformations using ADF. The third comes is Azure Data Factory. How do you process the data? How do you join the data? So in Azure Databricks, you can use PySpark or Spark SQL. So Spark SQL is basically your SQL queries. Just it needs to be in the uh, syntax of Spark. So that is why it is known as Spark SQL. You can use a humongous SQL query or your PySpark data frames to process your data, to clean your data, to join multiple tables and to derive decisions out of those tables. You can use Azure Databricks. And Azure Synapse is nothing but your data warehouse. Example for data, the Azure Synapse has replaced data warehouse in the terms, if you have large set of data sets plus you have historical data and you need to query your historical data day by day, you need to go through 10 years of data, 20 years of data, so you can use Azure Synapse Analytics. It has a more powerful engine than Azure Databricks, and it supports larger data sets integrated with AI for predictive analytics. Yeah, so it's Azure does not only come for machine learning or cognitive services or only data processing. It also comes with Azure IoT Hub. So recently, I mean, we have been working. Me and my teammate have been working on Azure IoT Hub, where a third party or a business will push its data into our event hub, the real time data. If we have seen ki Flipkart ki sale hai, Amazon ki sale hai, sometimes the website crashes, we are not able to or as soon as a product launches on a discount ki hum fatafat usko add to cart kar dete hain, usi time it will be like sold out. तो ये रियल टाइम प्रोसेसिंग कैसे हो रही है, रियल टाइम कैसे पता चल रहा है उसने उसने अभी ये प्रोडक्ट खरीदा है तो सामने अभी के अभी आउट ऑफ स्टॉक जाना ही है. सो दीज रियल टाइम डेटा प्रोसेसिंग के लिए यू कैन यूज Azure IoT Hub. It has sensors detector. If you have some sensors, RFIDs, sensing that data, real time data, it can send the data to the event hub, and then using event hub and Databricks you can process the data at the real time. You do not need to schedule a job or anything ki as soon as the data comes. Literally milliseconds का भी इसमें delay या wait period नहीं होता if you want to work with the real time data. And we already completed machine learning cognitive services, like if you want to deal with the natural language processing, if you want with different languages model, you can have everything in the cognitive services plus logic apps. Even the logic apps is being used in my current project, where we literally take the data from Outlook items, from Gmail items, and we literally detect the priority, looking at the subject, looking at the what do you say, the email body, instead of, so the business users, they do not have time to read the entire email. They just need ki what are the important terms and technologies, what is the amount involved. So logic apps, they are used to go through entire email. So there is this code we have written, go through entire email, and we have done some computation, and after that computation the business users will be presented if it is a P1 email, P2 email, P3 email, and how much is the amount involved for that particular priority. So everything is covered by Azure. Yep. So, Harleen, have you ever come across with the real world examples of AI? I mean, I'm sure that I have many examples, but pretty much sure about
Yeah.
you as well. Yeah, so a lot of the examples we can look from the different industry segments. If I start from
Mm-hmm.
healthcare industry itself, we have seen AI algorithms being used to analyze the medical images like your X-rays, your CT scans, your MRIs, to detect as simple things as a fracture, uh, or even as complex things as a tumor, right? And then I have seen AI being used to in the predictive analytics segment, wherein we can say analyze large sets of data about the different patients' history, and it can help us forecast what kind of risks or diseases a patient um can develop based on his current conditions. Like you would have seen people saying that, okay, if you have a family history of high blood pressure or a high blood sugar, then the children might have it as well. What is that? That is like more of a predictive analytics. Now we have AI doing that for us, because the earlier example which I gave, that is more of a hear and say thing, right? Now we have AI to look at mm, thousands of patient records, come up, go through their history, and come up with what different diseases those patients have a risk of developing. We like we talked in the beginning about the chatbots. There are AI powered chatbots. Those can be your virtual assistant that can help you design your diet plans based on the kind of lifestyle you have, or there can be chatbots which can help you answer any health related questions that you may have. They can help you book certain appointments, and often help you to provide some mental health support, right? Then I can talk about the transportation industry. We have seen examples of cities like Barcelona, wherein they use AI to manage traffic in real time. So the AI systems, they analyze the traffic data from the cameras and also from the sensors, and then what they do is optimize the timings for the traffic lights, which helps to reduce the congestion and improve the overall traffic flow. Then we see a lot of delivery companies like Amazon. They use AI to optimize the delivery route. So AI can help those companies to analyze the traffic, the weather conditions, and other factors to help come up with the most efficient route. And this is exactly what is being used by apps like Swiggy, Zomato to help for a faster delivery of the food, because every day we keep on ordering stuff, but how the allocation of the delivery agents happen, how the delivery agent knows which area has maximum demand. That is all the things where AI is being used. Similarly, for things like fraud detection, right? We have organizations like Mastercard, which use AI-driven insight to help detect the frauds, and it can be like you can call up the bank and say, okay, I did not authorize this transaction on my card, but how does the bank know that did you do it or not do it? Or there can be scenarios wherein you might be sitting in India, but somebody tries to play with your accounts from abroad. This is where all AI algorithms comes into play and helps the financial services, the banks to know, okay, is this really a genuine transaction or a fraud transaction? Why does bank ask you that, okay, when you're traveling overseas, you need to tell us? Because they want to feed that data into their system so that you should not be denied of transactions thinking of it as a fraud transaction. So any unusual transactions or any unusual customer behavior on the financial services uh, is flagged by AI to help protect the money that is involved with all these big financial institutions. Okay. So I would say those are few of the examples, and there are many that we can quote for the use of AI in real world. So um, concluding our session for today, so we have seen how AI can be helpful in certain areas, how it has created such a disruption, such a great adoption across the different sectors. We also have seen how Azure provides us with a comprehensive platform, giving us the capabilities to use uh, machine learning, to use the deep learning, Gen AI capabilities, cloud computing. It provides us with all the infrastructure for us to play and uh, like help us with all the information that we need. So, and since all this is available on Azure, there is always seamless integration and possibility of scalability. Like Manisha has been mentioning in her examples, like if you don't need something, shut it down. If you there is certain growing need, like your big billion days sale or a great Amazon sale that happens. So at that time you anticipate that there would be a lot of traffic, right? So you can scale up your infrastructure so that it can support the inflow of the users. So, and like we mentioned at the beginning, AI is not a luxury anymore, it is a necessity in the times we are living in. So with that, we want to talk about why you need to upskill yourselves to the latest technology and what benefits you will have out of it. So, Manisha, you want to share your thoughts?
Sure. Uh, so while giving interviews, it's very important. They will ask you what have you learned recently, because even companies know that every company is focusing on machine learning, artificial intelligence. So at least I know you will not get the real project to work on, but at least what you can do is there are many content creators on YouTube or on many platforms who will tell you, who will help you in creating a POC, proof of contact, uh, for you to build some of the projects on your own. You can generate the dummy data set on kaggle.com, and then it does not need to be terabytes, petabytes of data. Even some MBs or 1 or 2 GB of data, it's totally fine for you to even start with these technologies. So just by reading on these technologies or just by attending lectures or having the theoretical knowledge, it's not enough. You need to start it on your own, because if you are graduating from any college, your
everyone's resume will be same. You all have, you 60 students in a class, you all have the same degree. What will get you the job is how many projects have you worked on, or what actual experience do you have, what practical experience do you have. The experience, even if you have not done any internship, but on your own, if you have completed certain certifications, and related to that certifications, if you have done some practical things, if you have something to show to the interviewer, I am sure enough you are going to get the job. You need to tell the interviewer, or you need to uh, show the interviewer that how do you stand apart from the entire crowd, because the entire crowd would have many certifications, theory, knowledge on everything. uh, so even if you don't know the coding, they are just going to focus 20 or 30% on your technical skills. How much code do you know? Because now chat gpt, copilot, everyone knows coding. They will, coding is on your fingertips, I would say. But how you can use these things, AI, ML, to generate even that code, or how are you training your model, or even if if you are introducing ML or AI to a normal business, or to a normal problem statement, your resume would be like highlighted to that company. So obviously people, companies want such people, such students, who have the knowledge of what it takes to upskill themselves. So if, please feel free to ask any questions you have from Harleen or me. Yeah. So thank you for attending today's session. Okay, I can see a question, how to get started from basics with AI. So you just need to catch one cloud, be it anything, Azure, AWS, or GCP. But I would say Azure, it's very user friendly, because I have worked on AWS and Azure, both the things. But I personally believe that for me, as a, if I consider myself as a normal user who has never used any of the cloud platform, I found Azure a lot easier. And you can start with the basics, as in you can search on YouTube. There are many creators, there are many YouTube channels which will show you on how to start with a basic cloud computing POC or AI learning. So first, if you start with the big data, it would be great. Do not jump onto the larger things if you are totally new to these things. I mean, even me, I cannot jump onto the machine learning until and unless I know the data engineering concepts. First, play, you should do some ground level duty before reaching out to the higher positions. So if I would play with the data, I would realize, I mean, what is the data, what transformations do I need to bring into the data. And then step by step I can, move from data engineer to data scientist, from data scientist to a senior data scientist, and then maybe you can grow in this career. Yeah, and most of the cloud platforms, they provide you with some free um, dollar amount to utilize on your resources. Like for Azure, you get almost $150 in your subscription. You can provision a free subscription, try your hands on different things. And if you have any questions at any point in time, feel free to reach out. There are other community events that happen. So leverage those for your learnings.
We also have another question from Shambhavi Tiwari. I am an MBA master student. How can I go into this field?
So, Harleen, would you Shambhavi, I
Mm.
would like to answer? say, yeah, yeah, this is, I would say, a very open question in terms of what you aspire to be. Okay, do you want to be on the technical side of the things, or you want to be a program manager, a business program manager who would be utilizing the predictive analytics in your daily job, or you want to be someone who wants to sit and design the AI model completely, I would say, dependent on your aspirations, the way you want to go. There are different career paths available, and you can reach out to us. We can guide you on what you can choose depending upon your aspiration.
Also, the first step should be you first explore what are the different roles into the IT domain which are related to AI and ML. You understand what is the daily requirement for that role, what is the daily work, and then you start with it. And if you are coming into IT side, the basic thing you should need to know is any programming language, be it Python, Java, or SQL. So if to start with, you should start with learning the programming languages, and then you can decide कि कौन से फील्ड में जाना है.
All right, so a very big thank you to our speakers. Thank you for guiding us and sharing your expertise. And I hope all of you found the discussion and the insights both actionable and inspiring. Thank you all for attending today's session.
Thank you, Kamya.
So
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Harleen.
thank you for joining and thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, ma'am.